My friends, it just keeps happening. Alrighty then. Fresh new Snake Tales. Unfortunately, there are still explosions happening outside. Nothing entirely wrong with that. But it does sound a bit like I live in fucking Jerusalem right now, I guess. Uh-oh. Shit. Again in the first fucking minute, I'm swearing and I'm making reference to things that I shouldn't make reference to. Jesus Christ. Confidential legacy. The wind howled as the rain beat down in torrential sheets upon the churning, undulating surface of the river. A single lonely rubber boat, painted jet black, was being tossed back and forth upon the waves like a plaything by some capricious river god. Snake lifted its face to peer over the edge of the boat. Over the din of the storm, he could hear the sound of helicopters. At length, he saw 3 black choppers approaching the tanker in front of him. "Am I late?" muttered Snake to himself. Ah, you know what they say, if you're gonna screw up, get out of the way early. Alright, yeah, I guess so. Well, my opinions on, you know what race I hate them? Hell no. Hell no. Okay. 3 days earlier, Campbell had visited Snake at his home in Alaska. Unlike Snake, who had gone back to retirement after Shadow Moses incident, Campbell had gotten himself a position in the Defense Intelligence Agency. Snake had known right away that Campbell wasn't there to rekindle old ties with his former comrade. After making some brief small talk, Campbell jumped straight to the point. Yo, Daredevil, is that a warning? If it were a warning, I guess it would be a fist, wouldn't it? Do you remember a man by the name of Sergei Golukovich? Snake nodded, a former GRU colonel. At length, ooh, shit. I pressed circle trying to go forward. A former GRU colonel. Golukovich was known as a ruthless, cold-blooded strategist. During the Cold War, when Campbell was the commander of Foxhound, Golukovich had humiliated him on numerous occasions. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, he had organized a group of former Red Army soldiers into his personal mercenary army. Since then, Golukovich and his troops had drifted from one war zone to the next, selling their services to the highest bidder. We received a report that Golukovich and his men attacked a group of Marines who were on a secret mission in the South American Republic of Eldera. Eldera? I don't think that's a real South American republic. I don't think there are republics in South America. Oh, thank you. Because I've not got a cold this time, I'm really trying to put it on. The Marines are being tight-lipped about it. As usual, they'd rather keep a lid on the whole affair. Unfortunately, I've not really got any good, I've not got any good impersonations of the characters, so you'll have to put up with that. But from what we've been gathering... But from what we've been able to tell, it sounds like Metal Gear is involved. Metal Gear, Snake growled. He'd heard rumors too. Following the Shadow Moses incident, the technical specs of Metal Gear had been leaked into the black market. As a result, bastardized versions of Metal Gear were starting to crop up all over the world. Eldera was a small country in South America that happened to be engaged in a civil war. Since the 1980s, the country had been under the control of a pro-American dictatorial regime. Classic America. Classic. But as the Cold War drew to a close, American influence in the region declined. The country's minority ethnic population had taken up arms against the government, calling for the establishment of a separate homeland. The country had been torn apart by civil war ever since. Mercenaries and arms merchants were constantly coming and going in and out of Eldera. Given those circumstances, Campbell figured it wouldn't be too surprising if one of those others, if one side or the other had managed to get their hands on a new type of Metal Gear. It seemed that some people still clung to the belief that the threat of nuclear war could bring stability to the region. And the Marines were there to try and destroy it? Asked Snake. No. It looks like they were trying to seize it for themselves. There's still a lot we don't know about the true nature of the new Metal Gear. This would have been a good chance to pick up a lot of valuable information. In other words, Ildira had managed to get itself a new type of Metal Gear. The Marines were plotting to seize it, and Golukovich was planning to steal it from the Marines. And now Campbell was proposing to go after Golukovich. Snake shook his head. Sorry, but you'll have to find someone else to do your dirty work this time. I'm out of the hero business. Because this is a sequel to MGS1, Snake. Well, the big question... Well, it kind of goes missing in the English version because Blaustein did a good job of localizing it, but not a good job of translating. The original theme of MGS1 was how much Snake's reputation as a hero preceded him, and that's why the big choice of the game is whether or not you would be able to fight the torture and allow Meryl to live. And this is Snake getting out of the hero business in this fake story of MGS2. Snake, times are changing, Colonel. I think it's about time you gave it a rest. You mean retire from the military? No, I mean it's time to stop this goddamn vendetta of yours against Golukovich. The look of fury on Campbell's face confirmed Snake's suspicions. Campbell still hated Golukovich with a passion. It was an old grudge left over from the Cold War. The passage of time had done nothing to diminish it. Rather, it had grown in intensity. Is that why you joined the DIA? To settle old scores? Yes, you're right. But I didn't come all this way to ask for your help just for the sake of a personal grudge. Campbell's hands clenched into fists. The truth is, Meryl was part of that mission. The rubber boat drew up alongside the tanker. Snake gripped the rope tightly. Meryl Silverberg, Campbell's niece. The woman who had risked her life alongside Solid Snake on Shadow Moses. At one time they'd been living together. Then, 6 months earlier, Meryl had left him. She said there was something important she had to take care of. Her voice was resolute, her eyes were clear and cold as steel. There was nothing Snake could do to stop her. And that's a good parallel to her rookie eyes. Her warm, compassionate eyes. Snake climbed the rope up to the outer hull of the tanker and emerged onto the aft deck. Nearby, he could see a number of soldiers standing guard. They appeared to be Russian. They appeared to be Russian mercenaries. He called Campbell on the codec. This is Snake. I've managed to infiltrate the tanker. It looks like our Russian friends have already taken over control of the ship. I'll try to get in and get in touch with Meryl somehow. I fumbled a few lines. That's better than it usually goes when I'm trying to read a script. I've installed it to an HDD. I'm not going to install it to anything else. Alrighty then. Oh shit. Going for that fucking... So we've already eliminated the possibility of a ghost run. They did get the Twin Snakes model and put MGS2 Snake's face on the Twin Snakes model. Which is cool. And then they reused this model, except with more hair, for Metal Gear Acid 1. Which is a good game. I don't care what the fans tell you. Oh shit, that works. Sweet. Okay. I figured that was gonna happen. Alright. So, first port of call is to go to... I believe it's the navigation deck. Man, they jacked that camera angle in. I successfully infiltrated the disguised tanker, which seems like the ship has already been occupied by Golukovich. I must first confirm Meryl's safety. She must be somewhere on this ship. Damn, those bros jamming. Meanwhile, I believe there's some fucker over here. Yes, there is. Shit! Run, 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 run. So, perfect stealth has been eliminated, but I think I could still get a good rank. Fucking hell! Okay, I thought that would actually work. Just confirming that's still like that, yes? Ah, and that's locked. Okay, bullets for a weapon I've not got. Son of a bitch. Okay, I've got a magazine. It's gonna be fine. Oh, shit. Ammo, 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 ammo. I got an idea, I got an idea, I got an idea, I got an idea. So that also deletes the idea that this might have been a glitchless run as well. I'm not but a reflection. In the PS2 version, you could see Snake's model through this. Actually. Okay. Interesting. I suspect I'm not going to get very many people joining me on this journey, but it doesn't matter to me. As with everything, if you're not going to do it for yourself, why would you bother doing it in the first place? What would the original camera angle have looked like? Oh well. Whew! Whew! Holy shit. Didn't think that would work, but, you know. I guess I'm just too good at this game, except for the alerts that I've gotten. Holy shit. It's Meryl. From famous game Metal Gear Solid 1, The Twin Snakes. Meryl lowered a gun. What are you doing here? I just wanted to see you, answered Snake. You think you're funny? Actually, I was only half joking. My uncle sent you, didn't he? Snake nodded. He explained that Campbell had gotten word of Galukovich's attack. You've got a lot of nerve coming here, Meryl snapped. Look who's talking, Snake shot back. What? Sneaking into another country under the guise of a military operation when all you're really after is the Metal Gear? Who's got a lot of nerve coming here? His voice took a condemnatory tone. Is that something important that you had to take care of? You wouldn't understand. Merrill turned away. Someone like you who could happily spend the rest of his life taking care of sled dogs day after day. You could never understand. I was only trying to live my life free of hatred. No! You just didn't want to face up to the reality, that's all. Society, your past, even me. Is that why you left? No, that's not it. But the look in Merrill's eyes told Snake that it might have been. A deep silence fell between them. 6 months of separation created a cold, empty gap that was difficult to fill. At last, Merrill broke the silence. My father, he died here, in this country, she murmured. Matt Campbell, Merrill's father and Campbell's younger brother, had been a DIA agent. Snake had heard that he'd disappeared somewhere during a mission when Merrill was very young. I wanted to see for myself what my father saw. Merrill's eyes drifted over to the window, but the only sight was that of the storm raging outside. She suddenly turned back to Snake and held him firmly in her gaze. Snake, please just get out of here. This is my battlefield. I don't need anyone from the outside to get involved in this. It's a little too late for that. I'm already involved. Nothing can change your mind? Nothing, Snake said firmly. Merrill sighed in exasperation. Snake pretended not to notice. Now tell me what our situation is. This mission was supposed to be top secret, right? How did Gorlukovich find out about it? That's what I'd like to know too. You think there's a leak? I doubt it. But seeing how you know all about it, then I suppose anyone might know about it. Snake thought for a minute. Merrill was right. Anyone might know. But whatever the case might be, they had to stop Gorlukovich from getting his hands on Metal Gear. Where's the Metal Gear? In the cargo hold. Alright, I'll go check it out. Merrill cut him off. I'm not about to take orders from you. We'll split up and go our own separate ways. If you're planning on heading to the cargo hold, then you'll need me to do something about the boxes that are blocking the first deck stairway. Before Snake could stop her, Merrill had left the bridge. Can I not make a new save? Do I have a limit of 5 saves on this? Okay. I should have rotated. Once again, the original camera angle was way better here, and you could see further up north, but now it looks like a fucking corridor. Limited only by this stupid fucking thing. Ah, they also removed the dead bodies from the original scenario. I guess they were just models. Oh yeah, they reused textures, so... In the original trailers for MGS2, there was a lot of shooting going on in this area, but they don't even load soldiers into this area, I don't think, anymore. You can't cause an alert here. So you can call that bullshotting. I mean, if you can accuse MGS2 of anything before the release of MGS2, it's bullshotting. Alright. Ah, it's fine, I'll just do the same trick. Otorashita! A sound! Come on, buddy. Come on. There you go. Alrighty. I recently downloaded the MGS2 demo, never played it before, even though I had Zoe. In the demo, you can get the USP before the Olga fight. Yeah. You can. I think it's on the second playthrough you can, and you get it from the locker room. Yeah. But, in the proper release of MGS2 Sons of Liberty, you can't actually deal any damage to Olga's health bar. But because of this Snaketail mission, they had to reprogram it so that you could do real damage. Otherwise, in Sons of Liberty, if you were to use the USP against Olga, you would just take down her stamina bar. Oh, that's fucking bullshit. Okay. Shit. I think this is one of the areas where it's so dark nobody could ever see me. I guess we'll find out though. You know what, I'm willing to test it. Just for the sake of this. And if I fail, I guess I'd die. Oh, you fucking... Ooh, shit. Hmm? Yeah, actually. There is actually a light mechanic in MGS2, but it is so rarely used that nobody really knows about it. Come on, let me punch your balls from behind. There you go, baby. Rest easy. Alright. There's a lot of interesting stuff in that MGS2 demo, specifically if you know how to hack into it a little bit. There's placeholders for the penguin suit, there's placeholders for... actually, what's really shocking is that there's not a placeholder for the infinite ammo bandana. Which implies that the original intent was that Meryl's ending was not canon. Of course they want me to go through the entire fucking engine room. Of course they would. Okay. I'm taking a chance. Run, 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 run. Oh, shit. That could have easily been me dead. Oh, shit. That is actually me dead. I was gonna run for a locker. I really like how the demo of MGS2 ends. It's probably one of the best demos ever made. Raven! Then you go around the corner and oops, it's just a doll. But the original camera angle here had the shadow of Raven on the wall to tell you that yes, you know, it paints a better picture of the scenario. That you are seeing a shadow of a toy here. And that is the shock. That is the punchline. Ooh, NVG. I do have a lot of items that I'm... Oh, Jesus, that's crunchy. Ooh. Mmm. That's quite crunchy. Alright. There's a dead body in here in the original scenario for MGS2. Do I have a camera? No. I do have cold medicine, though. This picture isn't very hot. Alrighty. Let's have a peek. Ichi, ni. I'm guessing there are gonna be two down. Nobody saw me? No? Good. Excellent. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Murder, death, kill. M4. Don't have an M4. Oh what? My phones are running out of battery. What do I think is the definitive version of Zoe 2? That's a really good question, because I'm so against touching older versions of games to re-release them, but at the same time, it's difficult. It's difficult. It's easy to say that there's no real definitive version of Zoe 2. Because the original version is missing the extra content. And then there was a re-release version, the special edition, which was the normal edition in Europe. But it was re-released in Japan, and I don't think America got it until the HD re-release. I don't know, that's probably the hardest one. And the lack of anything else, I just go with like whatever's easiest for you. I have the original Japanese special edition somewhere. Hiding. Actually, I think it's unopened. That's a very good question. I'm glad that you put me on the spot, because usually I'm heavily against... Oh, fucking shit. I'm heavily against remaking games. What is happening? What is this collision? What is this collision? Holy fucking shit. Fucking shit. Oh shit. Oh, holy shit. Oh, fuck. I got the fuck out of that. Well, I tried the VR version. Yeah, the VR version's really cool. I don't think it's a way to play the game properly. Mostly because, the concessions are clear enough that they had to, you know, put a little Jehudi figurine in the bottom right hand corner, I think, so that you knew what was actually happening. And like, if you do the spin maneuver, that would have caused too much motion sickness, so, you know. If you try to throw someone, I mean, spinning them causes too much motion sickness, so you don't actually spin around with the cockpit. But it's a really good novelty. And it's one of those things where you think, you know what? Maybe Konami does give a shit. But nothing I've got is silenced. And I can't go through this door, I don't think. Yeah. But there's nobody outside the door. Okay, let's shoot this one, and then... Wait, really? Oh, you son of a bitch. Yeah, NVG don't show these things. Ooh, these are point-to-point lines. We are so back! Hey, what's up, dude? You here to try and get me cancelled again? Oh, okay. I hope there's ammo somewhere. There's always ammo. There's always fucking ammo. You can try if you want. I find it funny. I'm old internet, which is something a lot of people don't like to admit nowadays. So I find the edgy stuff hilarious. Ooh. USP suppressor. That'll really quieten down all of the ammo that I don't have. I reckon I'm actually uncancelable. Or at least that's what I'm gonna claim as long as it's funny. It seemed like a different world back then. It really does. No god going... So, let's look at this camera angle. So this is the HD version, and I believe if I get the timing right, that's what it would have been, I suppose. But instead, Snake's like fucking half here. The internet is smaller now. Like, say what you want about fucking a free market. This is the original version, so you can see up the wall somewhat, and here's this version where you can't see up the wall. Like, there's a lot of good to be said of a free market, but I mean, the world was a free market until kings came along, and, you know, warlords and such. The internet was a free market until, you know, it got monopolized. It's an inevitability. I don't have any of the weapons it's giving me ammo for. This is a... I suppose I could use the sniper rifle. That'd be very interesting. I should have explored more. Ooh, Pentasmin. Great. So now the only place you can buy things is Amazon. The only place you can... It used to be like you'd try and find something funny and you'd go to E-Bombs World, or you'd go to any of the number of other joke sites. If you wanted to talk about Metal Gear, you'd go to several different Metal Gear sites, but now it's just Reddit. Now it's just Amazon. Now it's just Twitter, if you want to talk about fucking politics, I guess. In the pitch darkness of the corridor, something moved in front of Snake's line of vision. Reacting quickly, Snake dove in the shadows of a nearby crate. There was a flashlight. Snake heard the sounds of a gunshot. A bullet whizzed past his head, igniting sparks as it ricocheted on the wall behind him. It was a trap. No time to think about the particulars, though. There were at least 5 enemy soldiers up against him. You could hear the sounds of guns being readied. Snake drew his USP, which had no fucking ammo in it. Snake drew is its PSG-1. Yeah, you know. Reddit has its uses. Need a quick wank, it's pretty decent. Okay. Okay. Got you. Okay, you done. Oh, you lucky cunt! Sweet. Hey, this is a really fucking unique playthrough. If I'm sniping these bastards. Nah, I'll keep sniping. I really hate how the fucking background images are stretched for these things. Snake peered down the corridor. No hail of bullets came to greet him this time. The coast was clear. He pressed forward past the bodies of the fallen enemy soldiers and entered the cargo hold. No, excuse me. The cargo hold was dominated by a massive shape covered by a tarp. There was no mistaking it. It was a Metal Gear, the ultimate weapon of the 21st century. Again, another good MGS1 reference. This is the weapon that will drag us into the 21st century! Sensing the place was deserted, Snake approached the Metal Gear. Its immense shadow loomed over him. He peeked under the top, but what he found was nothing more than a decrepit shell. The armor plating was speckled with rust. The body was covered with a thick layer of dust. The old, badly outdated actuator was a crisscross roadmap of tiny cracks. It looked as if it hadn't been used in over 10 years. "Don't look so disgusted," a voice suddenly sounded behind Snake's back. "What you see before you is a magnificent legacy of hatred left for me by my distinguished predecessor. You should really treat it with more respect." Snake turned around to see Sergei Golukovich emerge from the shadow of a pillar. "Drop your weapon." I'm sorry I didn't use a Russian accent. "Oh, hey, what's up, Cryvale? A Metal Gear in Metal Gear? For real?" Ooh, positivity. What are some games that I look forward to? Oh, Jesus Christ. Tekken 8. Actually, I've been talking with people who have an inside scoop on Tekken 8. And quite frankly, tentative excitement. It looks like it's got all the makings of something that could be quite good thematically and conceptually. It's a matter of whether or not they accomplish it in a way that's, like, actually cool. Ace Combat 8's probably going to be cool. They said they were going to do DLC for it. And now they're saying that they're trying to make a new game. They're trying to make an engine for Namco with the Ace Combat team, which is making me think, oh, okay, this is going to be an MGS5 situation where it's going to be another 10 years. The most exciting part is probably the death of NFTs. Companies seem to be slowly realizing that how you market a game is mostly on the way you establish the initial release, and then the rest of it is good. Tekken 8 story mode can go horribly wrong, right? Isn't that like the norm at this point? That's why I'm saying tentatively. What I'm hearing from people who, like, you know, behind the scenes who've talked to me because of my Metal Gear, my my Tekken videos, it looks like the structure of it is really cool. There's going to be some really good surprises in the story mode. Do I trust the taste of these people? They've attempted to be factual to me, and my impression is mostly my own. So it's whether or not you trust me if Tekken 8's story sounds like it could be good. Because as far as I know, there's really strong ties between the gameplay and what they want to tell with the story, which is pretty shocking for a fighting game. And I think even if it's not going to do well, or even if the story does fall flat, it will be looked upon in 10 years' time with, like, you know what? That was actually pretty sweet what they did there. You know, like a Tekken 4 situation, where nobody appreciates it at the time. Every time Paul gets a new stupid fucking haircut. "Drop your weapon," said Golukovich. "Make me," Snake retorted. Golukovich dragged another figure out from behind the pillar. It was Meryl. He drew closer and jabbed his gun against her throat. Snake watched as the barrel slowly traced the contours of a slender white neck and brushed gently against the corner of her mouth. He threw down his gun. A wise choice. "Alright, Golukovich, let her go!" Meryl shook off Golukovich's grasp. Golukovich pointed his gun at Snake. He regarded Meryl with a leer. Suddenly, Snake realized what was going on. Meryl was working with Golukovich. Meaning, so you were the leak. Meryl was silent, confirming Snake's fears. "But why?" What if I told you it was my father's dying wish?" Meryl looked pleadingly at Snake. "I'll ask you one more time. Please leave this place." "I can't do that." Golukovich cocked the hammer of his gun. "Then I'll just have to get rid of you." He pulled the trigger. "No!" Meryl grabbed Galukovic's hand from the side. The bullet went astray, striking the ground between Snake's feet. "We had a deal! You promised you wouldn't kill him!" As the two continued to argue, Snake retrieved his USP and made his escape. As he ran, he heard the sounds of Galukovich shouting angrily at his men. "Kill him!" Snake heard Meryl trying to stop him, but he didn't turn back. His only thought was to escape as quickly as possible. You vocalized many of my past anxieties with Tekken that I couldn't. I trust you. I'm not saying Tekken 8's a fucking slam dunk. I ain't saying that. I'm saying there's a lot of respect. Like, there's even... But this is like me talking who even found respectable shit in Tekken 7. Of all things. When that's the nail in the coffin of the original canon. I always loved Tekken 4 because of the story. Honmaru Temple was still insanely based. Mezamero! Kazama-jin! If only you weren't around. And then he runs up and you get... Oh, shit! This is such a fucking cool Snake Tale. You gotta fight your way out of this fucking shit. Oh shit. Okay. M4. And at the same time, the camera is forced looking behind you. So what it's... I know that it probably was like more of a happy accident than what they intended because they can't change the original scenario camera angles too much without creating too much work for themselves. But the idea is, even though Snake's fighting his way through and the auto-aim allows you to do that, he's still thinking back to what just happened where he was betrayed by Meryl. T5 also had its moments. Imagine a world where they made Wang's ending canon. They couldn't, because that would have solved the issue with the games. It means that strength would have won out over power. And that's what they weren't saving it for Jin, but it is Jin's original concept as a character. The struggle within him is between his devil side and his more angelic Jun side. Jin, the way that the kanji is written, just means human. And that's why, you know, in Japanese, if you were to say, like, an English person, Igirisu Jin, or a Japanese person, Nihon Jin, it's not the same kanji, but it's the same place that kanji derived from. Jin is named after a human, from his mother's sake. But there's also... I've spoken with this with a Muslim buddy as well, and he kind of disagreed with me, but the spelling D-J-I-N-N is the spelling of, like, a type of demon in Muslim mythology. Not necessarily Islamic, but that area of the world. I think it precedes Islam a little bit. But they aren't specifically evil, which you could argue works into Jin's thing. But also, you know, I don't know. Again, I don't want to say too much about that theory because... Jesus, why do I always bring up, like, the most fucking contentious parts of everything? Probably because I find it insanely funny. Snake closed the watertight door behind him and turned the handle to lock it. That should buy me some time, he thought. In the meantime, there was something he had to check on. He called Campbell on the codec and described what happened. Meryl and Galukovich? Campbell's voice quivered. Meryl said something about her father's dying wish. What the hell was your brother doing in this country anyway? Campbell explained, during the Cold War, while the country was under the control of a pro-American dictator, the American military had been conducting a top-secret project in Aldera. Matt Campbell had been a member of that project. When the Cold War ended, the project was terminated as well, and the Americans had prepared to withdraw from the country. Because that's always gone well. Persian from the lamp? Genies? Yeah, the term genie came from the word jinn, D-J-I-N-N, to specify. You're correct. Esoteric MGS streams, that's why. Why are we still here? Just to suffer? I'm gonna make them give back our ass. When the Cold War ended, the project was terminated as well, and the Americans had prepared to withdraw from the country. Dare I repeat the joke? Matt, however, went AWOL. AWOL stands for Absent Without Leave for those who don't speak English military jargon. Shortly afterwards, the pro-American regime, having lost its backing, was faced with armed uprisings among the country's minority groups. Aldera was plunged into civil war. Matt's corpse was discovered later. Spetsnaz had been behind the uprisings, and the name of their commander was Sergei Galukovich. Some say that Matt was actually collaborating with Galukovich, but I don't believe it for a minute. Campbell's words made it sound as if he believed that Galukovich himself had killed Matt. Is that why you've been so obsessed with Galukovich all this time? asked Snake. Yes, admitted Campbell. He hated Galukovich. Hatred spawned hatred in kind. Were you involved in the project too? No, there's a rules against that. We're forbidden to take part in any operation involving family members. They say it compromises your judgment. Didn't compromise him in fucking... Didn't compromise him in MGS1, did it? In Polish, we spell it dzin. Genie, same as Jin. Ooh, a Pole, eh? Since we have a Pole in here, that means that I'm allowed to make racist jokes against the Polish. So I've already ruined the punchline of this one. But we have a common joke in England, which is, what happened to the fireman's pole? He cleaned the fireman's pool. Thank you. Thank you. Polski. Yeah. So I guess because Poland is closer to India and whatnot, then that would have had less of a leap. Or maybe it's just because the right type of people immigrated into Poland, I guess. I don't know. Not the Germans. I finished MGS 500% on Steam this year, but I don't think it will get this master collection. Kind of fallen out of love with the games. It's all so gay now. All our hobbies are just so gay. Yeah. How many Polacks does it take to screw in a light bulb? I don't know. How many Polacks does it take to screw in a light bulb, Kolchia? I take guesses, but I don't want to spoil the punchline. Come on. You can do it. How many Polacks does it take to screw in a light bulb? The viewer count just dropped. Alright, I've not gotten another message from that, so I assume the punchline was real yabe. Is that all? I guess Matt wanted to put some distance between us at the time. Campbell's voice was tinged with regret, but he ventured no explanation as to the reason behind his brother's actions. The antique Metal Gear you saw was the end result of that project. That's all I know. The whole thing is highly confidential. Even now, the records are all sealed. Want to do it and thought to watch. Come on, I expected better than that. How many feminists does it take to screw in a light bulb? Only one. She puts the light bulb into the socket and waits for the world to revolve around her. There we go. Now I'm properly fucking cancelled, aren't I? Oh no, my viewer count went back up. Okay. Theory. Sexism makes the viewer count go up. I believe it, thought Snake to himself. After all, it was only natural for people to try and forget horrible things that had happened in the past. Governments were no exception. But some people held on to these kinds of memories. Some people never forget all their hate. Like Galukovich and Campbell. And that's another thing that makes this so fucking good. That's another one that makes this Snake Tale so good. There's an internal theme of hatred. The relationship between Meryl and Snake, the relationship between Campbell and Galukovich. It's so good. We love sexism here. Oh, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Snake, we can't let Galukovich and his men escape with that Metal Gear, said Campbell. He could still be armed with live nuclear warheads. They're probably planning to test Metal Gear's capabilities somewhere out at sea. You've got to change the course of the ship. Head for the bridge. Snake had no objections. Let's see if I can shoot. Alright. The flour. The issues still comes to mind now and then. Cake was baking in the oven, and Mother was making tea for us. Net and packed in Jamaica, net weight 50 kilos. And 2 red lines. This of good quality Fane flour. Fucking hell. Sorry for the epilepsy warning. I'm unaware of what game this is. Is this MGS1 or a side game? This is Metal Gear Solid 2, and it is a what-if scenario based on the locations of MGS2, and this particular one is a what-if scenario to do with MGS1's follow-up. Because Meryl was unnoted in this game, even though... Because MGS1 had 2 potential endings where Meryl lived or died. Jamaica man! I'll sleep now, but keep on listening. Good for your brother. I can do that, I have Jamaican family... I have Jamaican family members. Yeah, this is an alternate scenario within the game engine of MGS2, which follows on from MGS1. Flower obscures the screen when shot. Don't see the soul like that now. Well, the flower is actually there when you shoot it, so that you can see the laser beams, which I shot out without needing to use the flower because I had thermal goggles, which can also be seen with the smoke from your cigarettes breaking the line of those point-to-point vectors. I mean the laser beams, they aren't point-to-point vectors at all. Alright, motherfucker. You wanna die? Do I have a box? Do I have a box? I have a box. And my view is blocked by an M9 ammo box. Soval. Yeah, what is kind of astounding about the Metal Gear games, especially during the PS2 era, is how little they were working with and how much they got out of it by introducing sandbox-like elements, which were not really common for Japanese games at the time, and not really... Son of a bitch. Phew. Back in MGS2 days, my edgy teenage self assumed Snake gave in to the torture, which made a little less Hollywood action hero. I do think the give-in ending for MGS1 is way better. And I think they originally planned for that based on information I got from the demo of MGS2. So where are these dudes coming from? The other side? Good. Fuck! Dad. If you shoot out 2 legs in this game, then they die. It's not the same as in MGS 3 or 4. I already said this during the stream, but in the demo copy of MGS 2, the only thing they have is stealth. There is no bandana in the game code. And that's even though they have a lot of other stuff that went unused, like the penguin suit or earplugs or balloons. One day I'll try and show the entire arsenal that you could have had in MGS2. But for now, I guess you'll just have to take my word. You son of a bitch. Whew. Well, I guess I'm no hero. Never was. Never will be. I'm just an old killer. Yeah. Metal Gear. David Hayter really fell off in MGS4. Damn, them two guys fucking jamming, dude. Is he gonna see a footprint like this? I'm guessing. Sweet. I'm guessing that I'll probably be able to find an M4 in this locker. Sorry, dude. I know I've punched you in the balls twice today, but I guess fate just doesn't want you to have children. Konami bringing Hayter to show the Master Collection really rubbed you the wrong way. Did they? Nowadays, Snake is like a joke. His MGS1 Snake was so natural. Yeah. Sadly. It's because Snake had an internal conflict, and ever since then he's been a solved character. And that means they had to introduce a new protagonist in MGS2, which didn't go down too well because Kojima's idea of a new protagonist was a femboy. No, I think that's mostly the dub to blame, and whew, holy shit. It's mostly the dub to blame, and Metal Gear being a far more popular game in the West than Japan. I'm sorry, dude, you saw me. You shouldn't have seen me. The moral obligation was to not see me, and then I wouldn't have had to kill you. You shouldn't have looked in my general vicinity. Daremoinai. Alright. Let's try a higher up door. It's locked. Hoo 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 hoo. I almost knocked that guy out with him. Alright. Okay, we gotta move fast now. Shit! Oh, fuck. How the fuck did you get over here so fast? Yeah, he was in the promo trailer for that game. Oh, dude. And this is what they came out with? One of the most fucking A to B port jobs I've ever seen. No, that's a lie. I played Sayonara Kawase Jun. What's it called? What was that game called? Alright, buddy. I'm sorry, but I think you might need to die, my friend. For my sake. Kriya. Kind of disappointing. I mean, I'm shocked that David Hayter still gets any business with Konami after he really tried to burn some fucking bridges. After they replaced him with Kiefer. Didn't I get a wet box as well? Oh no, I died when I picked that up. Okay. No items. Okay, you live, my friend. Sadly, we know what's coming at the end of this, don't we? Now, as just a tip, I have to tell you that, in the original Japanese version, Olga and Meryl are voiced by the same woman. And they do reuse Olga's voice lines for this upcoming boss battle, even though the original version of Substance, even in Japan, still used the English voice actors. Because that was the thing. Integral used the English voice actors, even though it was a Japan-only release. Substance did. And I think Subsistence broke that, but I don't know, actually. Anyway, before I go up the stairs, I need a wee. So, afraid we might have to put this on pause for about, I don't know. If you want to time how long I pee, you can time how long I pee. Give him 2 minutes. Bring your mic to the bathroom with you. Let me hear you frying that chicken, boy. Mr. Bernard. Is he all for fucking real right now, brother? What the fuck? 1 minute. Dude, I didn't mean to cry. Come on. And I do realize that one time when you were playing Persona 3 in your stream, I spent all of it just bitching about the horrible state of the emulation quality. And right now I'm playing like the worst version of MGS2, so I do have to apologize. Snake made his way to the ship's bridge. Outside the window, beyond the storm, he could see the figure of Meryl. He opened the watertight door and stepped into the navigation room. Meryl turned around. "You're late? You were waiting for me? There's no one to interrupt us here. I need to tell you something. 108 You have a timer." Is this how fucking Pipkin Pippa feels when she talks to her chat? Jesus. "You still can't fix the stretched art without turning it more pixelated." Well, that's good, because the pixels are the original artwork, isn't it? How about you just play it in 4:3? How about that? How about we just play this in 4:3? But honestly, I wanted to play this in Japanese specifically for this, because even though you won't recognize Meryl's voice actor, I can tell you that is Meryl's voice actor. Now, you don't understand, the art gets severely fucked up. Oh, is it like you see like lines around the mouth and shit, and like around the eyes? Because usually there's like a base model, and the eyes and the mouth are PNGs that they put on top of that base model. Kind of like any visual novel. Believe it or not, the DNA of visual novels runs deep in Persona. The running joke was that Olga and Meryl look and sound similar to Snake in the JPN version. It was, yeah. And that just gets entirely lost in the English version, which is a fucking shame. There's a lot of that going on in MGS2, though. Like last time. If you want to see something interesting, because Solidus and Solid Snake share this, or Solidus and Pliskin share the same voice actor, sorry. When those two talk to each other in the cutscene, the camera locks to the back of one of their heads at a time, so it could possibly be done in real time, and there's just somebody in a wig. You never see Solidus and Solid in the same picture at the same time, and even if they are, like during the torture sequence at the end of MGS2 with when you're playing as Raiden, you can only look at one of them at once. So it's possible to have done it in a split screen type manner. There's a lot of that in the VR missions too. They pay homage to like actual camera trickery of early cinema, rather than, you know, CG as it would be now, and like the game is actually computer generated graphics. And you know, I don't like to use the V in Soul because it just seems kind of cringe to me. But that's Soul. That's Soul. Snake made his way to the ship's bridge outside the window. "You waiting for me? There's no one to interrupt us here. I need to tell you something." "You mean like the reason why you're helping the man who killed your father? Is that what my uncle told you?" Snake nodded. Meryl shook her head. "He was lying." Meryl explained. Matt Campbell's part in the top-secret Metal Gear development project in Ildira had been to ensure the country's stability. Part of his job was feeding falsified information to the minority separatist guerrillas, and he was good at it. First, he picked a suitable candidate. Next, he'd find his target's weak point and use it to blackmail him. Then, he'd dangle a carrot in front of the victim's eyes and convince him to cooperate. Matt would then send his now willing accomplice into the ranks of the separatists. Once there, the spy provided the Americans with useful information, selling out his comrades in the process. But in carrying out his mission, Matt made one fatal error. In his dealings with the separatists, he came to sympathize with their cause. He became enchanted with the idea of independence. He grew to resent the US for the way it exploited smaller, weaker nations in its own gain. In the end, Matt decided to help the guerrillas create their own nation. He wanted to give them the trump card they needed to secure independence. And what better gift than a bipedal, nuclear-capable walking tank that was conveniently being developed in Ildira, albeit secretly and quite illegally. By the American military, no less. Sergei Galukovich, who was also supporting the guerrillas, agreed to cooperate. Matt's plan was executed. The guerrillas succeeded in stealing the Metal Gear from the American base. But then their plan was discovered. Matt was executed by the Americans. Meryl's father had been punished for the crime of believing in his own ideals. The crime of having a conscience was high in troubled times. In the tumult of the civil war that followed, the Metal Gear disappeared without a trace. However, 6 months ago its existence was reconfirmed, and the Marines had sent to recover the long-lost dirty secret. After hearing the true story from Galukovich, Meryl agreed to follow his instructions and infiltrate the Marines. Her intent was to transfer the Metal Gear over to the guerrillas through Galukovich, who was still providing support to the rebels. In this way, she would carry on her father's memory and the ideal for which he died. Is that what Galukovich told you?" asked Snake. Meryl nodded. Snake shook his head. "Did it ever..." Okay, I need a sip of something. Woo! Jesus Christ. That was orange juice being poured. Don't worry. And orange juice being spilt on my fucking table, apparently. Oh, Christ. Disused sock. Not used for any other purpose before anybody gets a fucking idea. There's a doujin based on this, this snake tail. An Eroi doujin. Made in like the year 2010 or something, I think. Did it ever occur to you that he might be lying? Meryl looked at Snake with sorrow in her eyes. You're not gonna let me get away, are you? So what are you going to do? Meryl drew a gun and pointed it at Snake. You're not gonna shoot me, said Snake. She released the safety with a thumb. Watch me. And again, another spot-on callback to Metal Gear Solid 1. You haven't even turned off the safety, rookie. She points a gun at Snake. He says, you're not gonna shoot me. And then she pulls the fucking safety off with a thumb. What an excellently written piece of fucking MGS1 fanfiction. Absolutely beautiful. And there are 2 different endings to this, and I think I would need to replay this in order to get the other one. No, I've got a tranquilizer gun. We can either tranquilize her or kill her. Fukushima did more than his fucking best. This is stellar. Should I do the challenge run of trying to snipe this bitch like I sniped the fucking squad rush back there? Or should I just shoot her? Because I'm gonna warn you, I've only had practice shooting in, the auto-aim in this fight works really well. Another thing for this fight in MGS2 and why it was such a good demo is, one of the complaints you would have seen around the time at MGS1. She's not a rookie now. Time to kill. Another complaint that, well, one complaint that MGS1 had was, well, you know, after I've killed them, they decide to then spiel their big fucking story. But this boss fight had, Olga talk about her history during the boss fight. Oh shit! I didn't realize I didn't have my rations on. Oh shit. Okay. Damn, bitch. They're cold, dispassionate eyes. Also, another thing that most people don't quite know. Another layer of music just around here. After the initial sting. I grew up on the battlefield. Conflict and victory were my parents. They use the tech of, well, in the original game. Actually, in this game too, because it still uses sequenced music. The evasion / out of sight music, yeah. The little details. It uses the same exact bit to go between the things for this. The same is also true in the swimming section. Featuring Raiden. Ba-do-do-do. You saw me do a little twitch there in first-person view. That's muscle memory from MGS3. She did the cartwheel. I'm trying to unequip my weapon in first-person view, which is something you can only do in MGS3. I never usually do that. That was just a really sick thing that I just did on whim. Whoever you are, you're not stopping us. Ah! Oh shit, I'm actually like I'm kind of close to death here. Okay. Whew. Phew. Phew. To the wire. Snake watched as Meryl crumpled to the ground. He rushed to her side and cradled her in his arms. She was bleeding profusely, her breath was faint, and her wounds were mortal. Snake clasped her tightly to his chest, covering the wounds he himself had given her. He felt her body grow cold and lifeless in his grasp. "Do not trouble yourself over it," said a voice behind Snake's back. It was Galukovich. He held a pistol in his hand. "Why were you using Meryl?" Snake demanded, fighting to control his anger. "Using her? I merely told her what she wanted to know." "I don't think so." A slight smile crossed Galukovich's face. It was the smile of a master strategist, a smile that told of lies, manipulation, and betrayal. "Perhaps I did embellish the truth a bit. After all, people will believe what they want to believe." "Is this your idea of revenge on the Colonel?" "Of course. He deserves to suffer. I will make him squirm in agony until his pain is as great as the suffering of all the men I've had to bury, and all of the widows and orphans they left behind." Galukovich hated Campbell. Campbell hated Galukovich. Hatred spawned hatred in kind. "This is why I chose her. Is she not the most important person in Campbell's life?" This I heard from Matt as he lay dying. "So it is you who killed Matt?" Galukovich's eyes darkened for an instant. "I see my reputation precedes me. I simply gave him that which he desired. I was only waiting for someone. He was only waiting for someone to kill him. That is the kind of man he was." For a moment, it looked as if Galukovich, truly grieving for the loss of an old friend. Perhaps his grief was real, but the look soon passed. "I will not hand Metal Gear over to the Eldarian guerrillas. My men and I have other plans for it. The machine itself may be a wreck, but all we really need is to recover the nuclear warheads and the launching system. A nuclear-equipped ballistic missile is still a precious commodity, even in this day and age." Snake gritted his teeth. Galukovich laughed. "Do not be so angry with me. This is Matt Campbell's dying wish. This was the intention from the beginning." "What do you mean?" "If you do not believe me, then ask him yourself." Galukovich aimed his gun at Snake. "Inhale!" The sound of a gunshot ripped through the air. Galukovich fell to the ground. The shot had come from Meryl. Meryl's body slowly went limp in Snake's arms. The gun slipped from her fingers. "Snake," Meryl moaned. She looked as if she were trying to say something. Snake lowered his head closer to her mouth, but his ears could not detect the slightest trace of breath. That's fucking cold, dude. That's so fucking cold. So what are we? Some kind of Metal Gear Solid? Liquid Kojima 2002. It looks like the real Metal Gear was the friends we made along the way. That's right, dear brother. The irony of being British is that I have a terrible Liquid Snake. Oh shit, I just admitted I'm British. Streamer doxed. Streamer doxed. So Toyota. That dude, he was the military expert for this, I think. There was a military expert for this game and MGS3 who then got... Not yet, Snake! It's not over yet! No, yeah. I think my voice isn't the right pitch for that. I mean, maybe I could do like a casual Snake, but not a shouty Liquid Snake. The military advisor for this game would later get arrested in Japan for ownership of weapons illegally, which is quite illegal in Japan. They only even let their police squad use... Police squad? Featuring Leslie Nielsen. They only let the police use revolvers, even. I guess Snake truly was Sons of Liberty. Boom. Yeah, let's save on that one. Dead Man Whispers. If I remember right, this is the one where we got to play as Pliskin. But for some reason they call him Snake, and I don't get it. It is kind of weird that as soon as Snake showed up in MGS2, Pliskin just completely disappeared. Big Shell, off the coast of New York. The offshore decontamination facility was selected as the setting for a top-secret joint exercise between the Navy SEALs and Dead Cell due to its complex structure and isolated environment. During the exercise, Dead Cell and the team under their command portrayed terrorists, while the SEAL team acted to suppress them. Dead Cell was a specialized naval combat team, feared in their brutality. The main function was anti-terrorist training, launching unannounced assaults on important government installations to determine their level of security. Although famous for the ferocity of their attacks, there was another reason for their reputation. It was rumored that their anti-terrorist training was to cover their true mission, operating above the law to undermine threats to American national interests. Did I see the Blonde Pliskin mod? Hell yes, I saw the Blonde Pliskin mod. Absolutely sick. I love that someone did that. Oh shit, if you hold R1 you can see the shittily stretched fucking PNG they've got. The Blonde Pliskin mod is way more accurate because that's what the Yoji Shinkawa probably said it as a joke. He probably said it just to, you know, stir a bit of shit. He was probably just being interviewed and he thought, oh, fuck it, you know what. But someone asked him why the concept art for Pliskin drew him with blonde hair. And Yoji Shinkawa said, yeah, I guess he's a natural blonde actually, yeah. And that's why there's a Blonde Pliskin mod. The idea is that maybe Pliskin's like another clone of Big Boss, and, you know, the actual hair color of them is blonde. Like Solid Snake probably dyes his hair as well. I think he said that in the same interview, yeah. Whether inside the country or out, wherever an anti-American sentiment was suspiciously crushed or leaders died unnatural deaths, military insiders inevitably associated Dead Cell's name with the act. The rumors were never confirmed. However, the name of Dead Cell had become equated with death, disaster, and calamity. It was undeniable. Until 1 year ago. 1 year ago, Dead Cell Commander Colonel Jackson was arrested on charges of graft and corruption. I don't know about you, but in British English slang, at least around where I'm from, graft means just working. Yeah, mate, I'm fucking grafting it, mate. Working my 9 to 5, grafting it. So he's been arrested. He's been arrested for grafting. I guess he was a dealer. From that point on, the overzealous tactics during attacks, the shady pasts of the team members, and their combined inhumanity made Dead Cell's name synonymous with military corruption and dishonor. Even their very fighting ability had come under question. This exercise marked the first official assignment in some time, but only Dead Cell leader Vamp was granted permission to participate. The joint exercises were drawing to a close. I was guarding my assigned area in Strut F. Immediately after receiving a report that half of the terrorists had been subdued, a coded transmission signifying an emergency situation came through my codec. "Come in, anyone! This is Alpha Team! We're under attack!" "This is Pliskin. What happened?" I replied. "Dead Cell! It's Vamp! He double-crossed... The team is almost... by him..." I could hear screams and the sounds of gunfire in the background. "What is your location?" I asked. "Strut B!" I heard a scream, and the line went dead. Isn't Snake also blonde but changed the color to not be confused by Liquid? Didn't they talk about it in the MGS1 tapes? No, he asked for Naomi's scissors, and if you really wanted to believe that Snake was blonde, you could assume that he also dyed his hair at that point. Because it's not entirely clear from the Shinkawa Theater, the Shinkawa artwork that was used for the briefing tapes. If you want to believe that, that's as good a thing to, make the excuse as any. But, the evidence is tenuous at best, and I would classify it as... I mean, it's not like my opinion matters, but it's like, it's headcanon that at worst is just incorrect and harmless. Jack, I can't believe you'd eat this. What are you, some kind of snake eater? Oh, right. Sorry, it was Shaska who said that in 1964. I've not got a good Ocelot voice. Maybe old Ocelot, but not young Ocelot. And I'm too British for it. Shit, maybe they should hire me for Liquid Ocelot. I immediately punched in a different frequency. A low voice answered me. "This is Dolph. Is this Snake?" This is... Sorry, I gotta try and, lower my... People tell me I've got a low voice, but I don't feel like I do, so I've gotta, actually... "This is Dolph. Is this Snake?" It was the Marine Commandant Scott Dolph. He was in Big Shell as part of the exercise. I explained the situation to Dolph. He answered through a burst of noise. Looks like things just started on my end too." "What's the status?" "There was an explosion on Shell 2 core. B1's almost totally flooded." "Is this what you were worried about?" Oh, sorry, that was Snake. "Is this what you were worried about?" 3 days ago, I accepted a request from Dolph to join the exercise. Dolph was worried something might happen, and he asked me to put a stop if it did. But he didn't say why. All he told me was, "I'm counting on you, brother." Dolph responded, "If it dies, it dies." I should use what more often? Mr. Hajni16. Are you the Polish dude? That sounds like a real fucking Polish name. Actually, Bulgogi sounds more Polish. My mistake. Southern Dolph. I don't know what you're talking... I'm just trying to do a deep voice, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. Dolph and Dead Cell were connected. Dolph's daughter, Helena, was Jackson's wife. When Jackson was arrested, Dolph was the only one who defended Dead Cell and Jackson. As a result, he risked his own position. Dolph seemed to be worried about something concerning Dead Cell. The Dolph voice? Yeah. No, use Dolph Lundgren from Rocky IV. Was that the one with the fucking robot? Are you gonna tell me to use anything from the fucking Rocky movie with the stupid fucking robot? Kimi no Jinsei wa... I don't know Low Tier God's fucking spiel in Japanese, sorry. Yes, the best one. Alright, I'm gonna say something controversial and then completely ignore it. Every Rocky movie is shit. Jackson's wife was... Wow, I actually lost a viewer in that instant. Okay. Dolph was the only one that defended Dead Cell and Jackson. As a result, he risked his own position. Dolph seemed to be worried about something concerning Dead Cell. I accepted without any questions. I owed Dolph. Dolph created a fake identity for me. Here I was, along with the exercise, as Lieutenant Junior Grade Pliskin. I then asked him, "What is Vamp up to?" "I have no idea," Dolph said in a deeply troubled voice. "Snake, we must figure out what's happening. We're trapped in the north part of the filter chamber number 2 by debris and flooding. Looks like it'll take us some time to get out of here. I want you to rescue the SEALs and then head over to Strut B. Roger that. Be careful. You ain't carrying live ammunition, are you?" Dolph was right. I was equipped for exercise but didn't have any live rounds. "No, but I'll be okay," I replied. Yes, the best one. Paulie is the best part of every Rocky movie. He was the trainer, wasn't he? No, that was Mickey. You like Metal Gear, you have no right to give opinions on Rocky. I'll give you that one. Another funny thing, Scott Dolph was, he wasn't the translator. What was Scott Dolph? He was an actual person who worked with Konami Japan and Konami of the Americas in Europe in order to properly market the game. I'm not sure what his official job title is, but he does have an official job title in MGS2. And one, I think, more limited in one, and he wasn't in MGS3. I don't know why he got a name drop in this one. He got the robot, no? I honestly don't know. I watched those movies when I was a kid, and I tried to rewatch Rocky 1 and 2 as an adult, and I kinda just fell off. I laughed my ass off when he said, "It makes me schmeal mainly," but that's mostly because I have a terrible sense of humor, and he was... he's so Italian-American that he's hardly American. Ooh boy. Also, since this is in first person, should I be like trying to do my shitty Snake voice for the entirety of it? Ijou nashi. Also, that's also a really cool part of this little thing. For the rest of them, it's always been third-person narration, except for when you press the select button, in which case you get, like, an internal monologue of what I should be doing right now. But I must save the SEALs under attack. I am now heading for Strut B. But this one is entirely within the first person, which is a nice surprise. It's like they're written up to be like slowly more and more clear. M4 is the best stealth gun. Don't worry, I also have an unsilenced USP. And the font is so skinny. It's always bothered me on this version. I don't understand. Like, I guess the font is fine, but like the square button is like is twinged in. And because they're more or less just stretching that box from the original 4:3 version into the 16:9 aspect ratio. This is actually where I found the glitch where you can go through the wall, but I'm not going to do it right now because it would waste time for everyone. Because getting stuck here, there's two walls on either side of this that you cannot escape, and I would have to restart somehow. And there's no way to restart from that menu. Ijou nashi. I should have installed the Blonde Pliskin mod. I should have installed the Blonde Pliskin mod before doing this. The fuck all connecting bridge. Don't worry, I can swear now. I've already eliminated any chance of this fucking video getting suggested by an algorithm. If you hold people up in this version, I will not get shit. Clear. I'm heading to Strut B. Jesus. Make me take the long way around on this one. Strut-a-pump room. Again, British English, the word pump means to shart or poop yourself in your pants thinking you are going to fart. And the really funny part of this to a young Gitai was that is the idea that you could strut a pump. You could walk it off, really. You pump and then you just kind of, you know, you strut you hope that the friction between your butt cheeks dries it out. Solid shard. So Solid Python 2099, is this a name born from yeah, for some reason you can go behind here. I don't know why. Is that a name born from Portable Ops, or is that a name born from, you know, some other form of unoriginality? Come on, turn around, you fucking prick. Good shit. AB connecting bridge. Ooh. You guys going clockwise? So you are. Don't you dare fucking turn around. I will never forgive you if you... You son of a bitch! Oh, thank fuck. Oh, dude. Everyone praises my name whenever I see it. Thank you very much. Whenever they see it. Oh, yeah, Solid Python 2029. What part do they praise? The year? I was greeted at Strut B by the sight of a total massacre. The bodies of dead seals littered the entire area. Everything had been torn apart and splattered with blood. I heard a moan coming from a body in a pool of blood. Hold on! I ran over and lifted the soldier in my arms. He was still breathing, but his wound was deep, reaching his internal organs. It was clear that he wouldn't make it. He looked at me with unfocused eyes. It was Vamp! He called it a lynching. Revenge for those who backstabbed Jackson. He called the bribery charge a sham. You better not talk now, I said to him, trying to quiet him. But he kept on talking. Vamp's going after Captain O'Brien. But that's nonsense. There's no way the captain's involved. He's just... not like that. Naval Captain O'Brien. Multiply decorated in the Persian Gulf, Europe, and Africa. Was commander-in-chief for the entire exercise. The mass media praised the captain as a competent, noble-minded soldier who was well liked by his fellow soldiers. He grabbed my chest. His grip was surprisingly strong for a man on his deathbed. The captain is on the first floor of the Shell 2 Corps. Save the captain, please. His body lost its strength. I closed his eyes. That was all I could do for him. I contacted Dolph, telling him what I'd just heard. I see, mumbled Dolph. His voice didn't quite sound surprised at all. In fact, he sounded like he'd just confirmed some bad news. Did you know about this? I asked. He became quiet, answering hesitantly. There have been a lot of cases involving murdered government employees and servicemen. Rumor has it, Vamp is behind it all. Is Jackson really innocent? I don't know for sure, but perhaps. He was a real proud soldier. He was not the corrupt kind. You think O'Brien backstabbed Jackson? No, I don't think so. I know his reputation. How can you be so sure? It was O'Brien who planned this training. If he was involved in Jackson's case, there's no way he would have involved Vamp. O'Brien. Sorry, Dara O'Brien. Okay, solid shot. Everyone praises my name. MGS fanboy for like 10 plus years already. Love Solid Snake. Love me Solid Snake. Changed Snake to Python and stuck with it since then. Oh, they actually changed the music playing in the text parts. Did they change it? I think this is the original music from the text parts, right? Who would win in a fight versus blonde not brunette Raiden? Well, brunette Raiden has unlimited ammo. And blonde Pliskin is a mod. And also unofficial concept art, really. But actually, well, I think Pliskin doesn't actually have that much military training because, like, when you fight alongside him against Vamp as Raiden, like, he's right next to Vamp with a sniper rifle and a pistol, and he does nothing to help you. I think Pliskin's, like, really shit. I think he's really inexperienced. It's also why he left the Harrier to you and just started throwing you the missiles, even though he was in a fucking helicopter. But, mind you, there has only been one recorded fight between an airplane and a helicopter, and it was in the Falklands War, and it was between a Harrier and a military helicopter, and I think the Harrier won. Mostly because it had, like, excessive maneuverability compared to the helicopter. I don't know what the model of helicopter was. The Harrier is a British plane, by the way. It was a... Yeah, you're right, I did pronounce it as O'Brien, didn't I? He wanted Raiden to match the motto, who dares wins. I mean, it's a British motto. And it would have made way more sense if Pliskin were blonde. It's a British SAS thing. Holy shit, they should have just made Pliskin blonde. I didn't even fucking think of that. Alright, anyway. I did pronounce it O'Brien because it's a Scottish name, thank you. It was O'Brien who planned the training. He was involved in the Jackson case. There's no way he would involve Vamp. That's only if O'Brien knew the rumors of the lynching, right? He knew. Are you sure? Oh yeah. I heard the rumors from O'Brien. You and O'Brien talked about the rumors? I was a bit surprised. O'Brien and Dolph, political Navy captain and the head of the Marines, didn't seem like a likely pair of friends. Dolph answered as if he knew my doubts. O'Brien and I always get along because of our positions. Raiden has a higher power level than Snake, come on. Yeah, but we're talking about Pliskin, not Snake. And I think Snake is above Raiden, but Snake compared to Pliskin is a completely different question. O'Brien and I didn't always get along because of our positions. I don't think he liked me either, but I don't think he hated me so much that he wouldn't give me advice to save my life. Give me advice that would save my life. What do you mean? O'Brien came to warn me that I was Vamp's next target. I then knew the true reason that Dolph had participated in the exercise. So you tried to rid Dead Cell of its infamous rumors by revealing yourself to Vamp? Correct. If nothing happened to me during our next exercise, I could prove that the rumors were false. You do trust Vamp? Dolph scoffed. I wouldn't go that far. If I trusted him completely, I wouldn't have called you. I'm a coward. I sound more like fucking Stillman, don't I? The truth is, I'm a coward. I didn't really lose my leg in that explosion. No, there are power scaling videos on MGS. It's hilarious. Snake is apparently pretty OP if he isn't old. Oh, dude, power scaling videos on Metal Gear. That's not the point of Metal Gear. Holy fuck. Whatever. I said to him that trusting something or someone isn't that easy. Dolph did not respond. I then asked him, but then Vamp's not you. But then it's not you, but O'Brien that a Vamp's after. Yeah, either O'Brien or information was wrong, or Vamp's wrong. Snake just hides a lot. Jack is literally a serial killer. Jack Kuzaripa. Snake can go Super Saiyan 4. What is it, Super Saiyan Miero? Yeah, but like Ryan's the next generation like Gohan, so he can go like the white Super Saiyan 5 or whatever it is. Then it's not you, but O'Brien that Vamp's after? Yeah, either O'Brien's information was wrong or Vamp's wrong. It seemed Dolph was confused too. The only thing that's certain is the Vamp is trying to kill O'Brien. Snake, you've got to stop Vamp. Got it. I've considered all the structure of Big Shell. Again, I'd need to use the Shell 1-2 connecting bridge from Strut D to get to Shell 2, where Vamp should have been headed. That meant I'd head to Strut D first. The sediment pool. Yeah, but where does Shaggy come into this tier list? Where does Big Boss come into the tier list? I miss MGS1 where you could crouch next to these fuckers and the camera angle would change. Damn, dude. Was Olga in here? Jesus. What's with all the blood? Okay. I'm still ammo-less. Oop. That sound effect sounds different in a way that it's either higher quality than I'm used to, which isn't really possible at this point, or it's being emulated wrong somehow. Sweet. Sweet. Do I have a suppressor? No. Ooh, more bodies. Damn, he hated it, lol. Kojima just tweeted out, just saw Marvels at IMAX 3D. That's it. That's the tweet. Yeah. That's Kojima, alright. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, they... Holy shit! They didn't fix this camera angle for some reason. In this specific scenario. Holy shit! There's a reason why you can see outside. Oh, dude, sick. I love to see the sheer quality of the low effort of trying to port this into 16:9. It's hilarious. If he doesn't give a paragraph, it ain't good, or captured his attention. To be fair, I don't really value Kojima's opinion on movies. Mostly because he thinks fucking... Hey, baby. Shit. Bubbles. Mostly because he thinks Escape from New York is actually a good movie and not just, you know, a really fun classic. His opinion of movies, like, usually outranks his taste, which is why he cast Kiefer Sutherland as Snake. Schrodinger's door. The other side may or may not exist. Well, yeah, it's his opinion. I just recognize a pen. Yeah, you're right. I was just trying to bring up my opinion on his pattern. Wow, that dude really didn't hear the gunshot. And that killed him. What a shame. Go, man. Where was I going again? Strat D, so I'm going through C now. The dining hall. There is a guy coming this way. Do I have a box? No. And he walked away. Good. Nice. This is me holding R1, by the way. So that you don't smash your face against the door. It slowly slides you in. Nobody here. Good. The mirrors actually function for the sake of gameplay. It's funny that Kojima did it again. He told Stephanie Joosten that they'd get her to play Fragile in Death Stranding, and then never called her back. The man is heartless, lol. I mean, maybe he couldn't get a hold of her. Without hearing the other side from Kojima, you don't know what's really going on. Or maybe he was just so excited by this new fucking stupid blonde French bitch that he'd seen in some fucking vague movie that he watched. I mean, I guess if I were Kojima, I'd be doing the same. I'd be finding actors that I really liked, because I'm more of a movie buff than a video game buff. Oh my god, just fucking... Jesus Christ. Good thing I didn't kill him. So why are there these watermelons where Stillman was hiding? Why are they so close to where Stillman was hiding? Anyway. Yeah. I mean... business is business more than anything else. There's better reasons to dislike Kojima. I'm not going to pretend to find any reason I want to do it. The way he's gushing over the killer makes me think he's going to try and shoehorn Michael Fassbender for DS2. What is The Killer? I've not heard of that movie even. Ooh, hello. Come on. I want to roll into him. Fuck. Come on, I just want to kill him. You fucking bastard. Oh well, I guess I got my wish in some way. Otoshio. Son of a bitch! New David Fincher movie. Recent Netflix release about a hitman who tries to be cool and professional but screws up at every turn. That sounds actually quite sick. That sounds right up my alley. I didn't think Netflix had it in them to make something that cool. Dolph contacted me as soon as I arrived in Strat D. He'd apparently managed to get a hold of O'Brien. O'Brien had sealed off the door, the Shell 1-2 connecting bridge from Strut D to prevent Vamp from getting through. He'd also reorganized the surviving SEALs to defend Strut G. Dolph said, "Snake, join the SEALs. Vamp is the enemy. Those men might be the SEALs, but I doubt they could stop him on their own." But how can I get from Shell 2 to the Shell 1-2 connecting bridge? It's closed off. "There's another way. Go across the oil fence on the lower part of the big shell. Use the ladder on B1 of Strut E to get down the oil fence. You should be able to get to Strut L from Shell 2 by crossing it." Vamp must have already left for the Shell 2. I needed to hurry. I mean, Vamp can run across water, so... Actually, I don't know. Depends on what this cannon wants to do. Okay. Ijo nashi. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Sweet, 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 sweet. Sorry, matey. Okay, I'll run for my fucking life. Hitman who fucks up at every corner. That sounds great. I'll restart this one and then sprint right for the dude. Bro, because of your Dolph voice, YouTube just recommended me a video of Robert Downey Jr. plays Oh, holy shit. Okay. Okay. The algorithm is unbiased. Sorry, my friend. Oh, shit. Jonas. All right. Gotta stop. I fucking hyperventilated on that shit, dude. Fresh. Alright, so I think all of these Snake Tales missions are on normal difficulty, which means they're gonna check everywhere except for where I am, unless I'm bleeding. The exciting point for me was that a hitman always screws up, rather than David Fincher directing it. I mean, tell me what else David Fincher directed. I'm not like a... People think I'm a movie buff when I talk about movies, but I only know what I know. I'm like Hanekawa. I only know what I know. I reached the Strut E ladder and climbed down about 40 meters. When I finally made it to the oil fence, I heard the sounds of gunfire from above. It was coming from the Shell 1-2 connecting bridge. I could see the SEALs fighting Vamp, but it wasn't a normal fight. It was a one-sided massacre. Oh shit, Fight Club, holy shit, alright. Okay, right. I gotta write this down. What the fuck is this fucking movie called? Where's that notepad that I occasionally jot down notes on? What was the fucking movie called? The Killer. That is the nicest handwriting I've ever used. Yokai. Zakira. 7. Oh, dude, 7 was a hilarious film. Benjamin Button. Like, I don't want to admit it, but I actually cried in the cinema at that one. But that's mostly because I'm a big bitch for media. Oh, dude, Mindhunter was sick! Alright, fuck. Sold. Fucking sold. This is pure me. Social Network, I didn't really want to watch. I didn't know who'd written it. He made the Utopia remake. I don't even know what the original one of that was. Social Network was about a lizard man, so I don't know. But it wasn't a normal fight. It was a one-sided massacre. Vamp ran. The SEALs fired. The bullets didn't hit him. Vamp threw knives. Some of the men went down. Other SEALs fought back. Vamp wove and dodged. He slit the throats of the SEALs men, slicing their stomachs open and stabbing deep into their hearts. The SEALs went down in a split second. I saw the last man screaming at the totally unhurt Vamp. Suddenly the connecting bridge exploded. It must have been wired up with bombs beforehand. A series of explosions enveloped the connecting bridges in flames, and it began to collapse with a roar. Debris rained down on the surface of the sea. I made a run across the oil fence. A huge column of water rose behind my back. The waves churned, throwing the oil fence up with every undulation. I struggled along and finally made it to the lower part of Strut L. As I turned around, my eyes met Vamp's. He had tumbled from the sky and landed on Shell 2's side. Vamp sneered, licked a knife with his long tongue, and hurled a knife at me. And then he disappeared into the interior of Strut G. I climbed the ladder and made it into Strut L of Shell 2. Vamp had already penetrated Shell 2. O'Brien was in danger. I ran for the Shell 2 core. About a lizard man, and has Andrew Garfield in it? It's just the Amazing Spider-Man. Alright. 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 Very nice. I'll give it up. I didn't laugh, but I really respect the wordplay. That's fantastic. Whew. Alright. Woo. Hey, dude. How would you like to get punched in the balls? That's actually a really good joke. I'd be proud if I had written that. Alright. Nice. A perfect plan. A fucking impeccable plan. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I entered the Shell 2 core. There wasn't any gunfire or any signs of people. The silence made me uneasy. The codec rang. It was Dolph. Snake, what is your location? Right above your head. I've just entered the first floor of the Shell 2 core. How's O'Brien? I lost contact. I clicked my tongue. Were we too late? That's a very, Japanese way of expressing dissatisfaction. Like Americans do it, but I feel like it's become more popular in Japanese media over time. We still don't know what happened for sure, said Dolph. But he didn't sound too sure of himself. O'Brien should be on this floor, right? I asked. That's right. He should be barricaded in the air purification room. He told me he was going to electrify the floor to stop Vamp from getting inside. I looked to the passageway. The floors were glowing dimly. Looks like the trap's still working. Yeah? But we're up against Vamp. Who knows if it'll help? There's only one way to confirm if O'Brien were dead or alive. Going inside, or using a Nikita missile launcher to see inside, and then give up. How do I disarm the trap, I asked. Destroying the circuit breaker in the room is probably the only way. You should be able to do it with a remote control missile from a duct. You're gonna have to find a remote control missile first. I forget if they got the swimming animations on Pliskin for this one. Every time I do the fucking Scott Dolph voice, I lose another viewer. Alright. David Hayter and Akio Otsuka did new voice lines for that. Along with the previous mission where they recorded new lines for the directional microphone. Is that locked up? No, it's not locked up. Sweet. Ah, right, because they don't want to see me swim. Because they only animated it for Raiden. Yeah, David Hayter recorded new lines for the substance release of MGS2. Cold drinks, as opposed to hot drinks. I'm researching MGS power levels. Oh my, anime fanboys at its worst. Yeah. I don't know why you would torture yourself like that. This is Raiden's elevator call animation, and they used the same one in Twin Snakes as well. So, MGS2 main scenario, you could press against this wall, and you'd get a little mini cutscene of seeing the president in there. You can do the same with several places in MGS1, including just before the gas room in MGS1. You can see Otacon. Just before you talk to the DARPA chief, you can see the DARPA chief in his room in the first floor basement, I think it was. Yeah. And third was when the elevator doesn't work in the second tower. MGS is just a degenerate anime with realistic graphics. What even wrong? Oh shit. That's what I get for trying to look at the fucking other screen while I do this. Yeah. I think Metal Gear's setting is so detailed it attracts the same kinds of artists as anime does. Because anime is like full of well-realized worlds. There's an Easter Island head there. People who are rewatching the VOD can probably rewind and have a cheeky peeky at that. Fucking mother son of a cunt. Oh shit, the C word, yeah. You Yanks are afraid of that. One of my only demonetized videos. Where I said I'd have loved to have heard Marduk use the word cunt like it's fucking meaningless. Yep, he's dead. Yeah, there is an amount of, the amount of anime went down with time with MGS. Because the graphics kept on trying to be more realistic. MGS1 is like really anime. As soon as I entered the airport... Excusez-moi. In Poland, there is only kurwa. Please tell me what kurwa means. I'll keep on saying it, and I'll probably get in more and more trouble until I learn what it means. Kurwa, 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 kurwa. As soon as I entered the air purification room, I found O'Brien on the floor, slumped against the wall. Judging by the cuts covering O'Brien's body, Vamp had tortured him instead of killing him instantly. O'Brien looked at me, recognizing my uniform. He was covered with blood, but he smiled in relief. I guess we haven't been wiped out yet. I signaled for him to keep quiet and examined the surroundings. O'Brien said, Vamp isn't here anymore. Looks like he left for B1 from the duct. It seemed nobody was in the room except for the dying man and myself. I went up to O'Brien. He was bleeding pretty badly. It looked like he didn't have much time. I tried to treat him, but O'Brien refused. Stop it. I'm not gonna make it anyway. I know that. Get out of here now. Call for backup. No, I can't do that. You said he went to B1, right? I said. Dolph was on B1, and as O'Brien told Dolph, he might be the next target. But Dolph was Jackson's father-in-law. And besides, he wasn't the kind of person to backstab someone. Something was wrong. While I was turning this over in my head, O'Brien said, Don't do it, Lieutenant. You'd better leave. Don't get involved with Vamp. But we can't just let him continue his little lynching game, right? Lynching? O'Brien tried to laugh, but he coughed up blood instead. Vamp said you falsely charged Jackson. That's crazy. I didn't do that. Nobody could. What do you mean? The corruption case is airtight. There's plenty of proof. What? O'Brien tried to say something, but only coughed. He coughed up more blood, and then he was quiet for good. I tried to contact Dolph numerous times by codec, without any response. I knew Vamp had already left for B1. I had to get to B1 right away. Pee-pee poo-poo check, fire. Metal Gear Acid was even more crazy anime and I kinda loved it. Yes, actually. Metal Gear Acid was, there's this weird thing where mainline Metal Gear takes a lot from American movies, and spin-off Metal Gear, excluding Portable Ops, takes a lot from French media. So, Metal Gear Acid and Acid 2 are very like pop art, 19th century European kind of comic book style. And, well, more early to mid 20th century comic book style, I guess. Especially French. And the fucking digital graphic novels in Japan were called bande dessinée, which is a kind of French comic strip. And, like, obviously, the mainline Metal Gears are more fucking movie-oriented, because it's Iroquois Pliskin. It's just fucking whatever. Escape from New York. Curver with a hard R, a worst swear word. Voiceover goes crazy. Vamp is too cracked. Vamp shit it all over him. Nice to see you, Kyle. Damn, you got fucked. Pow. Did I load this scene somehow recently? I have recently been working on a translation of MGS3. Like, I've been retranslating MGS3. Don't tell anyone, though. Like, the tools are available for anyone to do it, but, you know, I kind of feel like it might be a bit preposterous of me to just say it out loud, but I feel like I understand the story of Metal Gear a bit, and I can give an unbiased translation. Maybe? I don't know. I'd say I'm full of shit. But, like, I didn't realize how much they struggled with the text, really. The text limits are pretty bad for that game. Damn, nothing? Shit. Talk my shit, bro. Yeah. I got on an elevator. I arrived at B1. B1 was exactly as Dolph had described. The passageway had been closed off by an explosion and flooded from a damaged water purification tank. I swam through the water and went through the debris and moved forward. Dolph had to be to the north. I opened a door and entered the second filtration room. Dead silence. Suddenly I spied someone standing in the darkness. Vamp. Oh god, my throat's fucking dry. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how fucking Hater does it. I'm not even doing it properly and it still feels blah. Someone standing in the darkness. Vamp. He slowly opened his closed eyes. I was waiting for you. Waiting for me? That's right. I was waiting for the perfect opponent to commensurate the end of Dead Cell. And you're it. Solid Snake. And this is your next hint that this is non-canon, because it's trying to imply that Solid Snake is Iroquois Pliskin. What are you saying? Vamp, knock it off. No one's backstabbed Jackson. His corruption. Vamp spoke calmly. I know. What? Vamp stared at me with sad eyes. Snake, you don't understand anything. You don't have to. All you need to know is that by gracing Dead Cell's legacy, you'll be the final victim. Is that you'll be gracing Dead Cell's legacy as the final victim. Come on! :V. Kyle Fields. When I play MGS3 nowadays, all I can think about is Skullface. Probably sitting somewhere within the bushes, lurking up and cleaning your mess. Yep. I mean, you have to ask. It's implied in one codec conversation that Snake was collecting his own shit in MGS3. But you have to wonder. You have to wonder if Skullface was following him around with a plastic bag. If Skullface was that good at sneaking, why didn't they just use Skullface? Why didn't they just use Skullface? I guess it's because we needed to have a fucking 20-minute car ride where the sins never die. I should have gone with the Nikita. I've never played this. Is this just extra story that's not directly playable in MGS2? It is non-canon. This is all non-canon, so don't worry. You are not being spoiled, except for by because it's reusing assets and boss fights from MGS2. So any techniques I used are going to be gameplay spoilers. And any boss fights you see will be boss fight spoilers. In fact, I'm using quite esoteric things, honestly. The kind of stuff that you wouldn't usually see someone do. Alright, come on, buddy. Fuck! There's actually a way that you can skip this. Well, not skip the boss fight, but there's a way that you can abuse Vamp's AI such that you can just completely stunlock him. Skullface's reveal was so dumb that all I could imagine was in a suit with his dumb domino mask and cowboy hat, just constantly crawling right behind Big Boss in MGS3. Yeah, it's kind of like Metal Gear Sigint, except you don't know what race he is. Alright, he's soon to go into the water again. I missed him. I fired off those rounds so that I could get a refill on ammo right here. It wasn't a useless tactic. Oh shit. I'm not gonna make this. I made it. I made it sick. That was good. That was so good. You fucking prick. You bastard. Okay, rations, rations, rations. Regenerate some life. You motherfucker. Alright, dude. Whew. I tried to box fam. Yep. It felt like the only way I could get a stun lock out of him. Shit. If I don't hurry this along, this isn't going to end well. Okay, that's an excellent place to pause. Shit. Okay. Prick. Regenerate a little bit of health. You bastard. Kisama no kage wo toraite. That can't be right. Empty. You bastard. Damn. No easy way of blocking him, eh? Okay, I've just locked out my only way to regenerate life, but all I need is one good hit. All I need is one good hit. You fucking shit. I'm done! Ah, dude. The biggest writing sin. Everyone has to be connected. It could have been written well. It could have been written well. I can stand by that. It could always have been done better. Gizo Gita is spitting. I'd hope so. Oh shit, that's why. When you're at lower health, your grip gauge goes down a little bit. Come on, buddy. Come on. In fact, this is the final boss fight, so I shouldn't be being too picky, should I? Okay. He's going in position. There we go. Come on, Vamp. Come on. Go over it. Low life, low strength. Just like in real life. Yep. No way did they fix that exploit. That's fucked up. That was intentional, by the way. Swear that was intentional. Alright. Always hated Vamp's boss fight a little bit. I think this boss fight has way less of an impact on Western players than it does Japanese players. Because the more common attitude for a Western player is that they want to be in charge of where they're shooting. So the first-person view mode is like something way more preferable innately to a Western player, especially nowadays, I guess. But part of the trick of this boss fight is that you gain more success not using the fucking... Where are my words right now? Because I'm trying to think about playing the game. You have more success not using the auto-aim feature, which I was using to fight Meryl before. Vamp reads the muscles on your body. Still got plenty of ammo there. Sweet. Oh shit, yeah. Rations. Shit. You fucking bastard. I am frozen, thank you. Shit. Can't rely on iframes for that. Okay. Regen life. Ah, don't remind me of the fucking nano machine, thank you. Whew! Alrighty. Yes! I approach Vamp as he lay in a pool of his own blood. Vamp, Tell me why you went on with your lynching when you knew it was meaningless. Vamp's mouth twitched. Because it wasn't meaningless. Jackson's arrest had been the final blow to Death Cell's reputation. They called it a stain on the entire US military. Called them a group of disgraced losers. The military had cut Jackson off as a liability. But that wasn't all. Oh, Jesus. That was the name of a pretty alright video. Metal Gear Solid 4 was a mistake. I'm not entirely on board with the video. It was, after all, written by some ex-journalist. He couldn't really put his thoughts into proper words, but I don't know, it's a decent 2 hours, I guess. Or 1 hour, 4 minutes. If it were 1 hour, 4 minutes, that'd be a random thing for me to remember perfectly. The brass tried to bury Dead Cell's previous record of success as well. It was a fate worse than death. We killed more than a few people. We killed civilians, women, children, the elderly. Some were unarmed, some didn't resist, some even begged for their lives. But we killed them all. Of course, we didn't kill them for pleasure. It was our mission. Dirty work. Those types of missions. Everybody hated them, but they had to be done. So we took them all. A man like O'Brien owes his spotless reputation to the fact that we got our hands dirty, crawled through mud and woke up screaming from nightmares. It was 3 hours. Okay. Jesus. I think Matthew Matos's video on MGS4 is probably a better way to spend your time, especially because he's got a really good sense of humor about it. Based potato N-word is what me and my friends call him. You only use your gamer words in private, folks. Jesus. I'm really trying to get myself cancelled, aren't I? Vamp clenched his fist. Are we the lowest of men? Perhaps. But the lowest of soldiers? Definitely not. I won't allow our honor and purity to be stained. That was all we had. But now, this last bit of pride has been denied us as well. That's why I went on this mission. You mean you're lynching? That's right. If I kill people out of revenge, people may start wondering. They may even think that perhaps Colonel Jackson could be innocent. The more I keep on killing, the more the public will have to believe in his innocence. Did you really expect anyone to believe that crap? Of course. The world lives and breathes on what you call crap. Don't you think? Vamp left coldly. His eyes looked empty. His eyes weren't those of someone who had regained what they had lost. They were those who had lost something instead. And then I realized, well, you don't believe it, do you? Even if Dead Cell's reputation's restored, it won't matter to you. Vamp shut his eyes, as if he were in pain. Maybe you are right. Any purity Dead Cell had possessed in its mission had been lost at Vamp's hand. The person in front of me wasn't a proud soldier. He was nothing more than a pathetic terrorist, and he knew it. Perhaps that was the punishment for his lynching. Vamp said, I don't care. At least I can protect someone. Protect? I'd do anything for Colonel Jackson. Helena, their unborn baby, and Scott. You fool! You fool! The shout echoed through the air. It was Dolph. He must have heard the battle from around us. Vamp smiled as he saw Dolph. His eyes quickly began to cloud. Dolph came up to Vamp and said, Nobody asked you to do what you did. Not Helena, not Jackson, not even me. You knew, didn't you? Isn't like Super Bunny Hop an ex-journo? He is, and he was also in the Colonel Michael Jackson. I don't think Steak Bentley The MGS4 was a mistake I ever confessed about it. About being an ex-journo? Shit, I probably, threw out some research I did that he might not want to... Shit. I shouldn't have said that then. Super Bunny Hop... Well, I mean, I guess in for a penny, in for a pound. Super Bunny Hop, I believe he was in the, he's in journalistic circles, at the very least. He was in Email Ring, which gained some notoriety to a certain group of people at some point, but... I don't know. Either way, I like Super Bunny Hop a lot. Really surprised he was gay. Not that it's a bad thing, I'm just, you know... It's like, oh, right, okay. Huh. Interesting. Cool. Gays like Metal Gear. You knew that, didn't you? Dolph picked up Vamp's hand. Just having you around was good enough for me. Vamp died with a smile on his face. Vamp died, the backup SEAL team secured Big Shell. Dead Cell was officially dissolved sometime after that. Dolph retired from the military, and Jackson died in prison. They said it was due to mental exhaustion. Sometime later, a rumor began making the rounds. It said Jackson had been falsely accused, and Dead Cell had been framed. Another kind of moody ending for Heroes. Ow, my fucking hand. Shit! No, I'm actually fine. Gay recognize gay. Indeed, why else are you all here? Certainly not for my sake. It's because you're all gay. And there's nothing wrong with that. You could admit it to yourselves. Especially you, Python, and you, Bulgogi. It's okay. It's honorable, even. You. 4 concurrent viewers. 6, whatever. It's okay to be gay. Do we think that it's worth doing, E, the best of the Snake Tales, right now? Or should we leave it? I know there's like some fucking Tekken thing that's about to go on. There's gonna be a Tekken 8 tournament with most of the EVO winners, I think. Including Arslan and me and JDCR. What time is that? What time is it now? 12 o'clock? Do it now? Well, I mean, I'm not gonna miss the Tekken 8 tournament. I gotta see what characters they pick. Also, they're going to reveal a character. I don't know what character they're going to reveal for Tekken 8. I don't know. I mean, it's not been leaked or anything. Ending E. External gazer. So, is there anybody here who knows when that fucking Tekken 8 tournament's taking place? Riona? I don't know any character called Riona. I think that was a fake leak from Pornhub a few years back. Let me look it up, actually. No, not Metal Gear. Tekken 8 tournament. Let's talk. Tekken 8 by Moonsault Slayer. Fucking skimmer. Tekken 8 Showcase tournament tomorrow with bigger... 5 PM PST. And what is that in local time? Ooh, shit, that's in half an hour. I guess I actually can't do that. Gomenasai minasan. Kyo de orida. I think that's it for today. Unless, actually, you know what? Burn like 15 minutes chatting with you fuckers. I guess a female with Heihachi's moveset. Now, I want to get into the inner circle, so I've never heard anything like that. You know? I've just... It's unimaginable to me that... I don't know. I don't know, a woman? A woman with Heihachi's moveset? Impossible. They can hardly even drive. How could they fight like Heihachi? Fuck it. Alright. Let's do a quick tanker run. So just Heihachi in a dress. He already wore a Fudanshi. Do not put that image in my mind. It appears even during intrusion view. Not game over if discovered, because that's cooler. We'll skip all the cutscenes for this, so don't worry. Mostly because the Japanese audio desyncs with the codecs. Because it's still English subtitles. But man, the dub titles are hard. The dub titles suck. You know, Japanese, it's within the mindset to make Heihachi in a dress.
それじゃ装備の説明をするね。
装備を説明をするね。I don't like the retexture they did to Snake's face.
奴らの正体を調べる必要がある。
奴らの正体は。Alrighty. You've woken a kid. If I'm trying to go as fast as possible, I shouldn't really go into the locker room, should I? Boom, 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 boom. Boom. I think I can just sprint this. Yeah. Darida. Boom. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Alright. I'm gonna blame the controls on that one. Mindlessly. Ba-doom, doom. That was specifically to stop him from turning in my direction. When they get shot, there's about a second of them going, "Huh? Did I just get shot?" Conflict and victory were my parents. Can't skip it. Blame the controls? I didn't know I was watching Darkside Phil. Oh my god! How was I meant to know I was supposed to shoot her? Aw! Ha ha ha! Kojima's name again. Come on, peekaboo. Whoever you are. Jamo assassin. It's a direct quote. Okay. You bitch. She sounds hot. Hey, it's Meryl's voice actor. Metal Gear Kojima, Sons of Kojima, Kojima. Ugh. I find it fascinating to watch Darkside Phil. It's like... I always wondered who was meant... Like, why are games made for, like, literal retards and idiots at this point? And then you watch Darkside Phil play a game and just miss the most obvious of shit. Unbearably. It's outstanding. It's like... If they are trying to appeal to the lowest common denominator, to like the weakest of mental faculties in America, Jesus Christ. No wonder gaming left me behind. She speaks Japanese, of course she sounds fat. Heihachi confirmed alpha in the video game world, making sweet love to 3 different women. I think my previous message got cancelled because I used the S word. I think it did. S word? Shh. S word. Alright, yeah. It's time to hump Olga. Necessary part of every MGS2 run through. You have to get a dog tag and maybe do a little dance beforehand. There we go. Still laughing at DSP's gameplay of new God of War used its Yeah, they did do that, didn't they? I mean, they're trying to appeal to idiots like him. Didn't you see the VGC conference where God of War devs were showing? Damn. Hive mind is real. Look at that camera angle. Look at what it's meant to be. Then look at what you get. Unbelievable. Unbelievably shit. Jesus Christ. Darkside Phil on how to do hints in games properly. Yeah, and then you get Atreus going, puzzle solution already! Like, it's fucking... Why do we appeal to that kind of person? Alright, here's a tip that I got from an IRL friend. You can just shoot that out and then roll into the guy very quickly. That's so he doesn't shoot you to slow you down. Hey, buddy. Nice to meet you. You don't need balls, do you? Stungies. Yeah. I think that's part of what's really made video games, like, worse. They have to appeal to that kind of person, I guess. Alright. Oh, right, he was on the fucking floor above me. Jesus. Darda. Alright, buddy. Good for you. Lamau. Fucking lol. Lamau. The fact that everyone complained about Atreus hints wanted toggle. Devs just didn't care. They did. Everyone complained about that. But at the same time, like, what did that really do? Oh, shit. That was some fast fucking thinking. Jesus Christ. Whew. Bloody hell. they found the dead body.
敵手だ。警戒強化。警備の補充を頼む。
Wait, which one do I want? The camera or the digital camera? Camera. Good. Yosh. There's even a video on the Atreus actor going, I was playing the whole game, I never shut up. I wish there was a toggle. Sekigai Sensa. Wait a minute. Excuse me, but I want my Yosh.
敵手だ。
よし。
警備の補充を頼む。
Wish more VAs and mocap actors played the games they were in. Yeah, it's quite rare. Hader used to play the Metal Gear games he was in. It's one of the things, like, as much as I dislike Hader as the voice of Snake, he was, like, really dedicated. Like, he's really into the role of Snake. He's into the fans as well. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Easter egg. What time are we on? I mean, I can't complete this in over 20 minutes, so we should be fine. Tekken 8 Evo Showcase is live. Alright. I'll try and get this finished as soon as possible then. Dariga iru no ka? I don't dislike Hader, I really like the guy. I just think he isn't a match for Akio Otsuka. I think John Segan was a match for Akio. And I'm alone on that opinion, I know that.
Yeah, 気のせいだ。
Ooh, 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 ooh. Look at this fucking camera, dude. Disgusting. Ooh. Yatsu o mitsuketa. Why is the camera close anyways? Because the HD version... Let me go back through this and then back into this area so I can show you the default camera angle here. The HD, the original version of this game is in 4:3. But because it's in 4:3 and the walls are so tight, they couldn't just show the internal, like, if they were to just expand the viewport instead of cutting the top and the bottom off, they would show outside of the walls, and that would, like, break the illusion that this is, like, an environment. So what they chose to do instead was to cut the top and the bottom off, so you run into fucking places, and you can't even see the fucking protagonist that you're controlling. But there's a glitch where if you press R1 and then pause a frame later, you can see what the original camera angle probably would have been like. I think it was probably a bit bigger than this even. You liked Hader in 1, and after that he sounds like he's either mocking the character or wants to play Snake in a play. Yeah. I mean... I really do prefer Snake as like a really calm voice. There's a unique camera angle for you. Probably completely undocumented on the internet. As if that's an achievement that I've made somehow. The David Hater Club. Yep, unfortunately. No, I like Hater. Dude on the left is gonna fall asleep any second now. Just fall asleep, Jesus. Shit, I'm running out of ammo. Two left. Alright, so the Tekken 8 Evo showcase is live. Ah, shit. Alright. Very sudden end to the stream, but hey, thanks for coming out. Next time I'll do ending E, and then I don't know what the fuck. Maybe Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. Maybe Ghost Babel. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for coming. See ya. End.